but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks still. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Got another mouth to feed. Leave it with the baby still. Mama call the grave digger. Gone with the fallen leaves. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might have had your fill, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. We can fight a war for peace. Give into that easy living, goodbye to my hopes and dreams. Stop flipping for my enemies. We could wait until the walls come down. It's time to give a little to the kids in the middle. Oh, till it falls, won't bother me. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. Yeah, your lovers and a bitch for my heart to eclipse now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Now I had your fill, I feel it still.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that had been away. Haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. 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 You know that chick that used to dance a lot? Every night she'd be on the floor shaking what she got. Man, when I tell you she was cool, she was red hot. I mean, she was steaming. And that time over at Johnny's place, well, this chick got up and she slapped Johnny's face. Man, we just fell about the place. If that chick don't want to know, forget her. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. 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 Spread the word around. Guess who's back in town? You spread the word around. Friday night they'll be dressed to kill. Down at Dino's Bun Grill. The drink will flow and blood will spill. And if the boys want to fight, you better let them. in the corner blasting out my favorite song. The nights are getting warmer, it won't be long till summer comes. Now that the boys are here again. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. The 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 boys are back in town. Spread the word. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The boys are back. Back in town again. Been hanging down at Dino's. We're going back in town again. Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from pain. You drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere. And I've lost my light, for I toss and turn. I can't sleep at night. Once I ran to you, now I run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a boy could give you. Take my tears and that's not nearly all. Tainted love, tainted love. Now I know I've got to run away. I've got to get away. You don't really want any more from me to make things right. You need someone to hold you tight, and you think love is to pray. But I'm sorry, I don't pray that way. Once I ran to you, now I run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a boy could give you. Take my tears and that's not nearly all. Tainted love, tainted love. Don't touch me, please, I cannot stand the way you tease. I love you though you hurt me so. Now I'm gonna pack my things and go. Tainted love, tainted love, tainted.
Live from Palo Alto, California, you're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM. This is Ryan Chen, joined alongside me is Alex Wong, live from Palo Alto, home of the Stanford Cardinal at Maples Pavilion. Now, the California Golden Bears men's basketball team is squaring off against the Stanford Cardinal for their second time this season. The Bears come into this matchup 3-17 overall, 2-7 in conference play. Meanwhile, the Cardinal is 8-12 overall, but also 2-7 in Pac-12 play, as are the Bears, right? So the Bears in conference standings sit at 11. Meanwhile, the Cardinal is only one spot above at 10th. So for such a historic matchup, it is one, unfortunately, of mediocrity right now. But in terms of both these teams, Alex, as you see it shape up to be? What are some key points for both teams to hit if they want to come out with a dub?
Well, for both teams, I think as a game with Cal and Stanford is embrace the rivalry, right? I mean, it's great to be here, even in a period where both basketball teams, it's inarguable that they're down right now. There's still an ambiance in this crowd. I mean, this crowd here in Palo Alto, I'd say, is around 40-50% full, which might be an attendance record for this year. And that's for Cal specifically. I think one thing they really need to do to win this game is embrace the fact that they are on 4 more days rest than Stanford. Cal hasn't played in about a week since an embarrassing loss to Oregon State at Haas on Sunday, whereas Stanford had to play a midweek game against Chicago State, which was a gimme game, but still, they had to play, and their starters got minutes. So I think for Cal, the biggest thing, embrace the rest, embrace the rivalry, and find a way to get off to a hot start and not score 15 points in the first half like you did on Sunday.
Yeah, it's consistency. That has to be the name of the game for Cal if they want to come out with a dub. Now, Stanford has a lot of talent. They were picked to finish 5th in the conference at the start of this season. Of course, right now they are 10th, but they were picked 5th for a reason. They have a lot of good recruits under Jared Haas, who is in his 7th season with Stanford. You have players like Harrison Ingram, Spencer Jones, who are names that pop off the page when looking at Stanford's roster, potential NBA draft picks. But of course, they haven't been able to really foster the success that they were expecting at the start of the season. Here against the Bears are in many ways empty-handed in comparison to Stanford's top-tier recruiting. Is there a matchup in particular that we should watch out for here, Alex, in tonight's ball game, even with the difference in talent?
I think the big matchup is something you could observe even if you knew nothing about these teams, and that's if you look at the starting lineup of Stanford, they have 4 forwards, and all four of those forwards bring something different to the table that's going to give Cal fits. Spencer Jones is really more of a point forward. He can stretch the floor, he can shoot the 3, he can beat you inside. Harrison Ingram, an NBA talent, has the size. And so Cal is a team that's really struggled when they've had to go against floor-stretching bigs like that, which really brought Lars Teen out of the paint or Andy Okafor or whoever. And so that's going to be a big matchup to watch. Is can Stanford's bigs effectively stretch the floor and create space and offensive opportunities for a team that hasn't had many up to this point in the year?
So we're a couple seconds away from tip-off here live at Maples Pavilion. Both teams struggling with a consistent starting lineup. Right here, though, for the California Golden Bears, Mark Fox is opting to start with Joel Brown. 2020 at the forward position, Grant Newell, Lars Tiemann, and DeJuan Clayton. It'll be Tiemann and the forward for the Stanford Cardinal, number 42, Maxime Reyno, who's been one of those consistent starters for the Stanford Cardinal as well. Reyno standing at 7'1". Lars Tiemann, the exact same height. Both players right now the tallest on the floor and the tallest for either roster. Meanwhile, for the Stanford Cardinal, it's Michael O'Connell at the guard position, Spencer Jones as a forward, Brendan Angel as well, and Maxime Reyno, who's right there at the opening tip, and Harrison Ingram at the forward position as well. So the ball is live from this live opening tip-off, and we are underway here at Stanford University.
Let's
California
go.
wins the opening tip-off. Perhaps a sign for the rest of this ball game, hopefully. Grant Newell, pump fake out on the right wing, slides into his left, fadeaway shot, no good. Good contest by the Cardinal. Underneath the rim, working on Joel Brown. Kick it outside over to Ingram on the left-hand wing. Working on Newell, right to left. Alley-oop pass, and Stanford follows up with a second chance opportunity after initial miss by Spencer Jones. But Jones picks it up and gets a board and a point to draw blood first.
Yeah, one thing there, Lars Tiemann stuck in no man's land as Clayton sneaks underneath and misses the layup. Lars stuck in no man's land and Reyno got the bucket.
Tiemann playing No point guard position right there with a nice dime. But can't quite finish. The double comes in. A reverse lay-in, no good. A layup attempt, that is, no good for Michael O'Connell. Joel Brown now brings it up court. Out on the right wing, scanning now. Flips it over to Grant Newell, who's gotten some starts this season as a true freshman. Back over to Quaden, back over to Brown. Left wing, three is money for Joel Brown. What a way to get things started for the point guard.
Yeah, Joel Brown only shooting 26% from three on the year. Not known as a three-point shooter, but a confident stroke. And one thing I'm noticing, Stanford playing a sort of that matchup zone like they played last time. Cal ate it up by passing quickly and taking advantage of shots when they had the space, just like Joel Brown did there.
Ball's out on the perimeter, but you do see a mismatch right on the lower block between Brown and the Stanford forward. They take full advantage of it, and the reverse scoop layup is good for Brandon Angel, the 6'8" Brandon Angel matching up against Joel Brown, the 6'3" guard.
I tell you, Ryan, Angel jumps off the tape as an extremely crafty finisher around the rim. I think that classifies this one there.
4-3 is your score. About 2.5 minutes in. Step back three, no good for Clemson. A bit of a contested shot. As back the other way it goes to Ingram. Catch, shoot three, top of the key, no good. Stanford picks up the board. Drive inside, too strong on the layup, and Joel Brown picks it up. First to speed, 1v2 transition. Off to Quayton, who threw it back to Joel Brown, out on the perimeter, but hit the face of Brown, who wasn't expecting that ball. A turnover ensues.
Both teams haphazard on offense right now. Who will find the rhythm first? I think that'll go a long way toward determining the outcome of this game.
Angel to the forward up top, Reno. Back over to Ingram. Out on the right wing, working on teaming. Bit of a mismatch. Alley-oop pass underneath his forward. Bubble for the ball. Tipped out of bounds near the baseline. Last touch.
We've already seen this a couple of times, though. Stanford essentially plays a positionless offense, and that's the second or third time Lars' team has been dragged out to the perimeter, causing a mismatch inside with Reno. I think he was shooting over Brown, which he can do with ease.
Score still 4-3, 16:45 left in this first half. Remember, two halves for college men's basketball. Layton out on the perimeter, who missed the first 13 games of this season. Left to right, step back. Jay is off the mark, but reeled in by Joel Brown out on the perimeter. Right to left, burst of speed. Can't get it to go with a one-handed layup. Threading the needle in the heap is O'Connell to his big forward, Brandon Angel, who sneaks it off the glass for two.
Michael O'Connell, a fantastic distributor, averaging over 2 assists a game, and a beautiful pocket pass there, as you mentioned, Ryan.
It's Quayton with a mismatch. Kicks it out to Kwani. Catch, shoot, three. He's got it.
Kwani had a season-high 18 points against Stanford last time out, hit 3 threes. If Cal wants to stay in this game, they're going to need to stroke it like they did on January 6th.
Underneath the rim and trying to rock it is Brandon Angel. Kwani snuck up right behind him, had no choice but to foul. So Brandon Angel, when we come back from this timeout break, will have a crack at two. You're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM.
turning back. My mind raced, and I thought, what could I do? And I knew there was no help from you. Sound of the drums, beating in our heart. The thunder of drums tore me apart. You've been thunderstruck. Walk down the highway, broke the limit, we hit the dawn. Went through to Texas, yeah, Texas, and we had some fun. We met some girls, some dancers who gave us good time. Rocked all the rooms, played all the food. Yeah, they blew our mind. And I was shaking at the knees.
So at the line now is Brandon Angel for the Stanford Cardinal, who can't get the first to fall, hit every part of the rim but the bottom of the net. The score is 6-6, 15:45 left in this first half. You're listening to your community listener-supported radio, KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM. As he can not connect on that first, but gets the second. 7-6 is your score. Clayton now underneath the Tiemann. The trap comes underneath to Kwani, who backs it out for safety. Out on the right wing to Joel Brown. Left to right. Pump fake. Off to Tiemann. Hook shot. No good. Off the right iron. Stanford shooting at 38%, 3 for 8 overall. Hasn't hit a shot from beyond the arc yet, though. Ball tipped out, and last touch by Stanford. Stanford's Michael Jones, that was. With sneaky hands is Joel Brown to force the ball back in the hands of the team in yellow. The bright yellow tees for Cal men's basketball versus the home white and red tees for.
Those look like alternates. Are those alternates?
They do. I think so.
With the white,
usually blue
with
and
the stripes on the shoulders.
Yeah. Kwani drive inside. Can't get it to go, but follows up with his missed shot and bounces it in for a deuce.
Great move by Kwani. Stanford actually doesn't have a lot of height, and so one thing he can use is that long frame to Euro step in the lane like he did there and also get his own offensive rebound.
Kwani, one of 3 four-year seniors on this team, a reach-in called to signal the ball dead in the meantime. There's a foul called against Kwani, so he'll check out. In for him comes a new face for the Golden Bears, Andy Okafor, the freshman forward, 6'9", for Dundalk, Ireland. Now, remarkably, he is not the only player on this roster from Dundalk. He joins Sam Awajiki, who is a true sophomore. Catch shoot, 3 is good from the left wing. A quick triple for Max Merle.
That's one guy they're going to want to keep an eye on. Shoots 46% from 3. For a Stanford team that doesn't have a lot of three-point shooting, he has been a breakout star for them, the junior forward from Omaha.
And what can you do if you're the Golden Bears? Max Merle stands at 6'9", really stretching the floor well and able to anchor the paint.
Yeah, you see why he's a 4-star recruit.
Catch shoot out on the left wing, this time batted away by who else but Merle. Effective on both ends of the floor. He takes the ball, drives in from the right wing, stops his dribble, kick back outside. In the hands of Angel. Ball fake, hook shot, swish. Brandon Angel making light work out of this California Golden Bears defense.
What a pretty move.
Yeah.
Gave the dream shake to Andy Okafor right there.
Exactly. It's Clayton now with the ball in his hands. Trying to play playmaker. Off to Mountie Bowser. He's checked in. Back out to Clayton. Top of the key. Working on a lengthy forward. Pulls the trigger, and he's locked and loaded. Clayton with his first made 3 of the ball game and his first made shot after starting the game 0-3.
That's got to feel great. He missed the game against Oregon State due to injury, comes back, gets his first three. Remember, he had 26 last time they played.
Angel takes a hard hit, and a charge is called against Angel right there. There's a good defensive presence by the Bears.
Roberson, I think. Roberson came over with the help defense on the drive and drew the charge on Angel. That's one way to stop a driver, a very talented driver like Brandon Angel. Get in front on the help. This is not a Stanford team that passes it especially well. And so if you can help a little bit more, go for it.
Neither team really
Neither
passes
team.
the rock that well. 13 assists per game for the Cardinals compared to Cal's 10. Some chaos for the ball, but it will retain in the hands of the Bears. Joel Brown out on the corner, kicks it out to Newell. Pull-up shot, rims out. No good. 12-11 is your score. Cardinal up by 1 as they try and mount a bigger lead. 12:35 left in this first half. It's Merle out on the perimeter. Back up top to Angel. Foul call. Off ball, I believe, against Joel Brown as he pleads his case.
You're right. I'm pleasantly surprised by this start for Cal because the Stanford strategy on defense is pretty clear. It's just stop all dribble penetration because that's what killed them last time. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. I mean, anytime a Cal player gets near the block or near the mid-post, double right away. But after all that, the offense looks pretty disjointed right now. To only be down 1 with 12 minutes in the first half, I think you take it.
3-point shooting was the name of the game last time they matched up on January 6th. As the ball is live on the floor, driving inside, blocked away by Okafor. Angel tried to stuff it.
And Grant Newell was able to poke it out of the hands of freshman from Chicago. Nice defensive play.
Joel Brown takes the high pick by Okafor up top. Has a mismatch. Hops it over to Awajiki. Left to right. Back out to Brown. Right wing three. Back iron won't fall too strong. Reeled in by the Cardinal.
That's not a good shot. You don't want your 26% three-point shooter taking threes unless he absolutely has to. He's already taken a couple today.
Oh, he is 1 for 2. I mean, to some credit to Joel Brown there. But you're right. I mean, on the season, not really known as that sharpshooter guard. Cat shoot 3 out on the right wing. No good this time for Merle. Reeled in by the Bears. Collecting the loose change. It's Joel Brown with hand signals trying to set up a play. Working on Merle. Back out over to Grant Newell. This time in the hands of Clayton. Takes the high pick. Doesn't drive inside. Back out to Newell on the right wing. Now scanning. Looking for a cut. Can't get it. Right to left. Spinning. Fadeaway shot. No good. Didn't have too much space right there as it is too strong off the back iron.
Cal already 4 for 15 from the field. Not a great start for the Bears and not many high-quality looks either, Ryan.
A lot of isolation plays. A 3 rims out. No good for Merle once again. Ball tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Bears. And Merle has been a tad bit cold from the perimeter after switching that first made 3. 1 for 3 from beyond the arc as a timeout is called on the floor. 12-11 is your score. Under 11 minutes left in this first half. You're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM.
Well, it's been building up inside of me for I don't know how long. I don't know why, but I keep thinking something's bound to go wrong. But she looks in my eyes and makes me realize that she said, don't worry, baby. Don't worry, baby. Don't worry, baby. We'll turn out all right, baby. Don't worry, baby. I guess I should have kept my mouth
Welcome back to Maples Pavilion. You're listening to Cal X 90.7 FM. 12-11 is your score. Cal down by 1. Now, the last time these two teams played, these two rival teams played, was back in January 6, 2023. So actually this month, this is the second matchup of this season for both teams. Cal won 92-70 in that matchup at Haas Pavilion just across the bay. Cal looked like a completely different team. They tied their score record with 16 three-pointers. They went 16 for 22, had 21 assists, and shot 59%. I mean, I kind of talked about it. The key to that game was three-pointers, but what else was clicking for the Bears, Alex?
Oh, I think the assist number. I mean, the 21 assists they had was the most ever assists in the Mark Fox tenure. And you can tell they were consistently making the extra pass when they were driving. It was with a mentality of looking for the helper's man, and they were able to generate a lot of open looks that way as a turnover for the Cardinals.
Turnover, and now in the hands of the Bears. Yeah, I mean, it's the facilitation and diversification of spring that really made the Bears lethal. Led far and away by Joel Brown, so finding those opening looks for players like Sam Alajiki, players like Kwani. A lot of them having career-high numbers in points.
Yeah, you mentioned Kwani with 18, Alajiki with 19, Clayton with 26. I mean, that there is more points, I think, than Cal's season average.
An off-ball foul called. 3 team fouls for Cal, 2 for Stanford. Off the inbound, it'll be in the hands of Tiemann, throwing it out to safety to Clayton, who's transferred in as a new Golden Bear, slicing and dicing his way inside, but blocked by a Cardinal underneath. Picked back up by Tiemann, trying to gather it back inside off the miss from Tiemann. That was Marcellus Roberson flying in for a dunk. He missed the dunk, hung on the rim, tried to grab the ball to stuff it back.
All right,
and that's a kind of dunk contest.
You got three shots from a combined 8 feet, plus a basket interference. I mean,
it was a little baby hook shot by Tiemann off the initial miss. Roberson with the follow-up dunk, no good. Ball midair, tried to dunk it back in, and that's a violation against the Bears.
A physical foul is called on Roberson. Unfortunately, the
ball doesn't lie.
Fortunately, I guess.
As it's Jones who knocks down the free throw and free point.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, Stanford after this break coming back out in a traditional man-to-man. So we'll see if Cal can generate some more dribble penetration this way. We'll see if Jared Haas is switching this permanently or just using it as a temporary look to kind of throw the Bears off balance.
Foul called. That's against the Bears. That is Clayton. Will be kept dead. Alajiki checks in for Monty Bowser.
Speaking of dead, neither team has scored in 3.5 minutes, so that's fine.
Scoring droughts galore for the two teams from California. Drive inside, Ingram can't follow through, nearly tipped in by Merle. Wrestle for the ball, foul called. Ingram with his hands up will stay with the Bears. Grant Newell will keep it alive.
Who's me, or was that a carbon copy of what just happened at the Cal end? 2 bunnies just didn't fall. Stanford shooting 33%, Cal shooting 24%.
Well, we knew it was going to be a close game, but not a pretty one. At least not so far. Tiemann hands it off to Joel Brown, top of the key, left to right, working on a forward, has the mismatch. Picks up his dribble, off to Clayton, left to right, forward to shoot, back out to Brown. Catch shoot 3, no good. Off the right side, that's his second missed 3 of the ball game, 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. A quick trigger from Stanford, 3 no good. 2 back-to-back shots are misses, this time from Spencer Jones.
Spencer Jones, 1,000-point scorer for the Cardinal. Really an NBA talent, maybe second round, late second round.
Certainly one of the best forwards in the Pac-12. Off-ball foul called against the Cardinal.
And Ryan, you mentioned a couple of times Cal's been able to generate mismatches. I mean, Stanford with this sort of switch everything defense, but the problem is they're not taking advantage of it. For example, that last possession, Joel Brown was matched up against Raynaud, I think. You'd like to see him drive it there, try to get by the big man, take advantage of your speed. But instead, he passed it back out, and then he had to pull up for a three eventually.
Joel Brown with the ball on the floor, kicks it out to Awajiki. Back over to Brown on the right wing. Wants a cut by Newell. Picks up his dribble, cross-court pass to Quayton. Joel Brown right to left. Skipping over to Quayton. Deep three, no good. Doesn't graze the rim. And it's gobbled up by the Cardinal. (12-11). The score stands about halfway in to this first half. Kick outside, corner three. Why not let it fly? It's short. The follow through, no good by a Stanford Cardinal underneath. That's Jones off the missed shot by Raynaud.
Gosh, how many missed layups have we seen today? Haas and Fox are going to be livid with their players on the sideline, who scored 23 combined points with 60% of this half over.
It's not a pretty sight as Tiemann falls to the floor. The ball in the hands of Grant Newell. They collapse in out on the short corner. The Bears kick it out, and it's a shot clock violation. It's Quayton who shot from the perimeter, from the left wing, but the shot clock was winding down, and he did make it. He banked it in, but it was too late. It was too late, 12-11. And you're right, Alex. I mean, Cal shooting at 21% at this point. Stanford shooting at 28%. This is the kind of game that you would expect from two teams that have a combined 4 total wins in 18 total Pac-12 matches. A timeout will be called on the floor as we send this one over to break. Make sure to stick around because it's an ugly one, but it is still close on KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM.
You know I got your number all night. I'm always on your team, I got your back, alright. Taking those losses if it treats you right. I wanna put you into the spotlight. If the world only know what you've been holding back. Heart attacks every night, oh you know it's not right. I will follow you way down, wherever you may. I follow you way down to your deepest low. I'll always be around wherever life takes you. You know I follow you. Call you up. You've been crying all night. You're only disappointed in yourself, alright. Taking those losses if it treats you right. I wanna take you into the sunlight. If you only know what you've been holding back. Every night, oh you know it's not right. I will follow you way down, wherever you may go. I follow you way down to your deepest low. I'll always be around, wherever life takes you. You know I follow you. You know I follow you. Wherever life takes you, you know I follow you. Do not have to give yourself enough.
Welcome back live from Maples Pavilion. Ryan Chen and Alex Wong on call here on KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your community-supported radio in the Bay Area. Now, the Stanford Cardinal is led by Jared Haas, his 7th season with Stanford. Joined in 2016, made an NCAA tournament appearance, made it as far as the Sweet 16 in his first season as Stanford's head coach. But you saw some good coaching changes as we were talking about during this break, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed is we hear a lot about, what can a coach do? Well, on that last possession, Stanford's back in their 2-3 zone, right? And Joel Brown has the ball in the low block with 2-3 seconds left. And we saw from his middle post position, Harrison Ingram aggressively trap on the double team, which forced Brown to get it out, and Clayton ended up with a shot clock violation. So little things like that. I mean, he's obviously on the hot seat just from performance perspective, but you see what he gets out of his guys.
Shimmy, fadeaway, hook shot, no good by Jones. Chaos for the ball, kept alive by the Bears. Here they come in transition. Quayton dumps it off to Teeman, sizing his way down court, but a travel call. He had 1 foot planted, I believe his right foot right there, but shifted it just a tad bit. So back the other way, it goes to the Stanford Cardinal. Now, you mentioned Jared Haas on the hot seat. I did say the NCAA tournament was impressive, but that was his only postseason appearance beyond the Pac-12 tournament. The three, no good. The fall through dunk, no good.
It's like at Dick's Sporting Goods when there's just a lid on the basket.
Both teams looking like the Washington Generals right here on the floor.
I think the Washington Generals would whoop these guys.
Teaming, mano-a-mano. And he bounces it off the glass. 1v1 matchup against Reno.
That breaks the 7-minute scoring drought for both teams. Nice play from Teeman, though. Identified the double team coming, spun out of it, and made the hook bank shot.
12-13, Cal up by 1. 6:30 left. Kick outside, right to left from the left wing, and one call for the Stanford Cardinal. That was Jones carving up the Bears, specifically Monty Bowser.
Nice play from Michael Jones. First transfer for the Cardinal in 12 years. Actually, the first grad transfer ever. Came over from Davidson, was a prolific shooter there. Only shooting 29% from three this season for the Cardinal, but gets on the board today.
From Woodbury, Minnesota, Michael Jones has a chance to make this a three-point play. It would be the first in this ball game. But Jared Haas, I want to keep coming back to him because it's interesting. He is a very, very good recruiter for Stanford. I mean, picking up players like Jones, like Harrison Ingram is not too shabby. He recently signed the third top 20 recruiting class in 4 seasons.
And that's what's so bizarre is like he recruits well. Players like him, parents like him, seems to have instilled a good culture, just not getting the results.
Yeah.
And he's had talent like Zaire Williams come through the program, and the closest he's come to a tournament since then is 2020, and that was when COVID canceled it.
Jones's free throw was good. The Bears get blocked on the other end, so back in the hands of the Cardinal right now with the ball still live on the floor. Mano-a-mano, and a spin hook shot is in for Maxime Reno, the 7'1" sophomore forward, getting things done, and he is raising his arms in celebration to try and get this crowd alive. Again, this is a rivalry game, and the only one this season here on the floor of Maples Pavilion, featuring these two teams. We can hear the defensive chants. Kwani bounces his way inside. Can't get it to fall. 17-13, 5:20 on the clock. Burst of speed. A dime inside to a cutting Spencer Jones off the foot of Brown. It'll stay with Stanford.
This crowd has come alive, Ryan. Maples is filled in quite nicely, I'd say. And the crowd really got into it after Reno poured them on.
Stanford trying to keep their win streak alive. They are on a 3-game winning streak so far. A quick pass and a quick shot is good for the Stanford Cardinal. That was Jones with the cut.
So after not scoring for a third of the half, Stanford on a 7-0 run in the last minute. Cal needs a bucket to stop the bleeding.
Down by 6 are the Bears, the biggest margin so far in tonight's matchup. Joe Brown, left to right, has the mismatch. Gets the switch, cutting inside, swatted from behind, grabs his own board, rising up for a shot. A foul is called, and a lucky break for the Bears.
Great energy from Joel Brown. He's your energy guy, right? Generates offense all by himself when no one else can. Goes up even with, 3-4 Cardinals surrounding him, gets blocked, gets his own rebound, gets to the line. Joel Brown providing the energy that a player that is a senior, that is a linchpin of this program, should provide.
Unfazed by that initial block by Jones, Joel Brown cannot get the first free throw to fall. But Joel Brown has been one of these mainstay faces for the Golden Bears. A senior, a true senior, that is, from Ontario, Canada. He has played in 93 of 95 toss-for games in his collegiate career, but he goes 0 for 2 at the charity stripe.
That availability is the best ability. Is that the saying? For a Cal team that's been decimated by injuries this year, he has been a constant.
Drive inside, kick out to the left corner, pump fake, 2 dribbles inside, backing his way down, back out to the top of the key, pump fake, spin, hook shot is good, and some fancy footwork by Reno, who reins it in.
That's unfair. 7'1", 250, can stretch the three-point line, gets an NDO court a bite on the pump fake, puts it on the deck, and then a nice post move with the baby hook.
3 for 6, 6 points, 12 minutes of action for Reno. Sporting the number 42 on the Cardinal. Grant Newell, left to right. Picks up his dribble, back out to Brown. Underneath, poked away as the ball is kept dead. Shot clock violation. The Bears got it off in time, but they missed the mid-range J.
One stat to look at, the Bears have yet to win this year when trailing at the half. They're going to need to make a comeback to get within in that time.
The double comes from outside, and it's a pass inside to Reno, who bounces it off the window, working on the Bears, and gets an and one call. Flexing his muscles to send it over to a halftime break. 23-13 is your score, a 10-point lead for the team in red and white. When we come back, see if the Bears can come back before the halftime break. Again, down by 10 here live at Maples Pavilion. You're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM.
How come you hit that final chapter? So young, your days of being free. I'm all for happy ever after. Just be sure it's where you want to be. If you know what's right, you'll spend another year with mama. Next thing you know, your life's beat under the road. You wanna be like that, looking through the end, no matter. Just don't leave yourself behind. Please, don't you won't be safe. You should do the things that you can. I guess you chose to take your chances. You know it's harder to agree. Just be sure that you know what catches. There's no cure for hopes and dreams. But if you know what's right.
Back from the timeout break, 23-13 is your score. Cal scoreless since the clock was at 13:27, or at least they have one basket since that 13.5-minute mark, and we're down to 3:30. It's because of players like Maxime Reno, the 7'1" sophomore center from France. He is at the line for an and one opportunity, but he has just been beasting and feasting here tonight.
Yeah, last game he started 5 for 5 primarily from the inside, and today already has 7 shots up. Only made 4 of them, but still. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this guy gets professional looks because he can shoot the three, he can drive, he can finish at 7'1". That's potentially a game-breaking type of player.
Totally. You do see a lot of stretch forwards in today's modern day NBA. He shoots at 54% on the season from any spot. Foul called. Newell is looking for Lars Tiemann underneath the basket. It'll be against Reno, that is.
Speaking toward that scoring drought you brought up, Ryan, just a lot of stagnant offense. A lot of the same issues that have plagued them the entire year. You don't see all 5 players moving with purpose. You don't see them making the appropriate pass, and even when they make the pass, it's never on target. It's just a team that looks like it's playing its first game of the year, and it's already game 21.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of miscommunication, not really knowing who's running this offense completely. You see the ball distributed amongst Clayton and Brown as those primary playmakers, but nothing really happening in the assist field.
And you'd expect Clayton coming back as a foul on the floor. You'd expect that to unlock the offense a little bit because no Askew today, but even without Askew, they scored 75 or more points in 3 of Clayton's games so far this year, and you expect him to sort of bring that extra dynamic level, but it hasn't happened today. They've been stagnant. Clayton has been forced to take isolation threes. It just does not look pretty at all.
A reach-in was called against the Stanford Cardinal. It's a 1-and-1 for the Bears. Obina Onyawu, who's checked in, goes 2 for 2 at the line, 24-15, under 3 minutes left in this first half. 21%, the Bears are shooting it to Stanford's 37%. Underneath, 1v1, kick outside to Ingram, who's been a bit quiet so far here on his home turf. O'Connell, left to right, under 3 left to shoot, swatted from behind by the Bears. Last touch by the team in gold. It'll retain with the Cardinal with 1 second left to shoot it on the shot clock. Of course, the timeout is called
by Cal.
By Cal this time. I would have thought Stanford just to get some sort of play drawn up, but instead it's Mark Fox, who I guess wants to set his defensive pieces in check. Maybe looking out for that alley-oop potentially, but both teams are now in the huddle. We'll keep it on the floor though, to talk a little about Maples Pavilion. This stadium here with a 7,400 seat capacity for the men's basketball team, also the women's basketball team, and women's volleyball. Opened in 1969. Maples Pavilion underwent a $30 million renovation in March 2004, opening initially in 1969. Named after the principal donor here, Roscoe Maples. They're back on the floor. The ball is batted away by the Bears. A good defensive stop, much needed for the team in goal.
Much needed. Good play by Onyanwu. Ball denial on the inbound, very fundamental. Now let's see. They're down 9, 2.5 minutes left. Can they put together a run and try to make this close as we go to the half?
Ball out on the perimeter, out on the right side. Kicks it out to Joel Brown. Cross-court pass to Awajiki. Back up top. 2 minutes flat on the clock. Clayton, right to left, in between the legs. Floats one up. Doesn't bounce inside. Battle for the ball. Rising up for a follow-up opportunity is Sam Awajiki, who gets it blocked. Looking for the foul call. Won't get it. Reverse layup. No good by the Cardinal. But picks up his own missed shot. That is the Stanford Cardinal with the ball. Specifically, Max Merle, who just missed that shot. 24-15, 1:30 left. Out on the perimeter, it's Michael Jones now underneath, drawing the double cut inside. Wide open for the taking. O'Connell with the nice kiss off the window.
Nice offense there from Stanford. They came to double Spencer Jones. The help was nowhere to be found. Led to a wide open layup for Michael O'Connell.
11-point lead for the team without their star player, Devin Askew. Catch shoot 3, rims out for Grant Newell, who has scoreless so far, and a loose ball foul is called against Cal, that is.
They ran a nice set. Alajiki set a flare screen and got an open look for Newell, just couldn't knock it down. I'd like to see Kwani come back in. He's only played 5 minutes today, but he's Cal's leading scorer with 5 points. And he looked pretty effective while he was out there. I don't know why he isn't getting more minutes right now.
Some substitutions made. Out goes Ingram. In for him comes number 1, Issa Silva for the Stanford Cardinal. The Cardinal and Cal both in the bonus, 1-1. This lead has ballooned up again to 11. As it is Spencer Jones knocking down the first to earn him a second.
This is starting to look really similar to the Oregon State game. Remember, they were in that one, just like this, where Cal was actually leading by 1 with 6:45 to go. But since then, it has been a 15-2 run for the Cardinal, and it's a 13-point lead.
Jones knocks down the second free throw. Was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, and that 3 is deep for DeJuan Clayton.
What a shot. Last time 6 for 8 on 3, and his first 3 of the game today.
Wrestled underneath, stolen away by the Bears. Joel Brown now off to Clayton, back out to Brown. Had some space, doesn't pull the trigger. Underneath to Onyawu, but a foul is called before he rises up for the shot. Again, still in the bonus.
Apologies, that was Clayton's second 3, but that's a couple possessions now. Cal going early in the shot clock. Maybe there to get the 2 for 1, but let's see some of that in the second half. Go early in the shot clock when Stanford is still running back on defense, and you got a 3 from Clayton on the last possession, and now you send Onyawu to the line.
As Onyawu will have to make this first to earn himself a second. A local from California, down south, San Diego, to be exact. Onyawu rattles in the first to earn himself a second. Scores 19-28, 37.5 seconds. A 7-second differential between the big and the little clock. 1 for their last 8 field goal attempts are the Bears, who earns a second. And the one bright spot for the Bears is certainly their free throw shooting so far. Timeout called on the floor by Stanford, as it is still an 8-point differential. Stanford up big against the Golden Bears. We'll send it over to some music live from the studio here on KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your live source for Cal Sports.
Watching my life passing right in front of my eyes. Tell of the story, always pouring. Can't claim again, never been reluctant to share.
Back from a quick timeout break. 33 seconds on that clock before the halftime period. 28-20 is your score. The California Golden Bears men's basketball team down by 8. Stanford trying to make this a double-digit lead. In the hands right now of Silva, hunting for more. Back out up top, some dribble handoffs. Out on the left wing, catch, shoot, 3 is money out from distance for the Cardinal. 5 to shoot. The Bears need to answer back. Clayton, step back, Jay, no good. A bit short, as that will conclude the first 20 minutes of action. 31-20, and that is the worst case scenario for the Bears indeed. A 3-pointer to put the Cardinal up by 11. Again, the biggest margin so far here tonight.
That's a 3-pointer from a 17% free throw shooter, or 3-point shooter, excuse me. And then on the other end, you get your 40% 3-point shooter to take a three, and he misses.
Yeah, nothing can go right for the Bears so far without their star player. Ask you, remarkably though, and you mentioned this pregame, Alex, all three of Cal's have come when Askew has been out. So that is a remarkable stat, most certainly. Let's go over some halftime stats before we send it over to around 15 minutes of music from the basement of the Social Sciences building. On the team stats front, we have Cal shooting at 21% to Stanford's 40%. From the perimeter, Cal shooting it marginally better than their their home team counterpart. 33% to 25%. From the charity stripe, both teams hovering at around 70%. 4 turnovers for the Bears to Stanford's 6. But Stanford is quietly out-rebounding the Bears 27 to 15. They also have 6 blocks to show and 7 assists. To Cal's 1 block and 2 assists, respectively. Who are some of these star players, though, so far in this matchup?
For Cal, it hasn't really been anybody, but DeJuan Clayton leads the way with 6 points, 2 for 9 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. 2020. In only 5 minutes of work, has 5 points, 2 for 4 from the field, and hit his only 3. Outside of that, Anyanu's got 4. Brown has 3. Teeman has 2. For Stanford, I think the big story this half, Maxime Reynaud. 9 points, 8 rebounds, almost a double-double. Not bad for 1 half of work. Also, Brandon Angel has 7 and not too much work. Michael Jones also has 5. Silva and Merle have 3. Michael O'Connell has 2.
And the Bears shooting at 21% lower than their season average at 42% as a team from any spot on the floor. Meanwhile, Stanford only shooting below their season average by 4%. So the score is 31-20 as we send this one over to longer music break from the Social Sciences building. This is Ryan Chen, Alex Wong checking out. In the meanwhile, sending it over to Jonah Kligman here on your live source for Cal Sports, KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM.
They will tell you somebody else. But sooner or later you sleep in your own space. Either way, it's okay to wake up with yourself. I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause I'm alright. I don't want you to tell me it's time to come home. I don't care what you say anymore, this is my life. Go ahead with your own life, leave me alone. I never said you had to offer me a second chance. I never said I was a victim of circumstance. I still belong. Don't get me wrong. You can speak your mind, but not on my time. I don't care what you say anymore, this is my life. Go ahead with your own life, leave me alone. Years ago, when I had a chance, I could have held your hand. But I was young, and then I blew every circumstance. Yet I still think I dream of dancing, with you, and maybe even children closer. While I tell you that I don't even care what this is for, as long as I get to share the with you, with you. In my thoughts and dreams, I do a little sway away with you. Even if I know it'll never realize, maybe one day I'll wake up, maybe someday it'll be true. Maybe that day I'll wait. I will dancing, oh, with you, and maybe even love you a little more while we tango across the floor. don't even know when I'll see you again. I'll just keep heading straight to the end. With you, with you.
Last night I had the strangest dream. I sailed away to China in a little rowboat to find you, and you said you had to get your laundry clean. Didn't want no one to hold you. What does that mean? And you said, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. You're on the roll and now you're praying. The road behind was rocky, but now you feel it cocky. You look at me and you see your mind. Is that the reason why you're running so fast? And she said, ain't nothing gonna break on my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Never let another girl like you work me over. Never let another girl like you drag me under. If I meet another girl like you, I will tell her. Never want another girl like you. Have to say, oh, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running.
Stop your messing around.
Back from the halftime break. The score is 31-20. Thank you to Jonah Kligman making us sound good all night long here live at Maples Pavilion. Accordion slip. Maples Pavilion, that is, in Palo Alto,
Good save.
California. A nice, 20-minute drive, 20 to 30-minute drive.
From where?
From I don't know, San Francisco,
Okay.
but really like an hour and a half drive with traffic as we fought through that coming over here. Stanford had the ball to open up this half, but they get it stolen away by the Bears. It's Brown picking up his dribble, drop pass inside the teaming, draws the double, kick outside, Kwani for three, no good, rims out, battle for the ball, reeled in by Stanford, but Kwani playing some minutes right now.
Yeah, Kwani in the game had a nice 5 points. Started out with a 3, and we were wondering why he wasn't getting more minutes, but he's in there now.
Fancy dribbling by Ingram, step back, mid-range J, won't fall. Picked back up by the Cardinal. Drive inside, kick back out to safety for O'Connell. Miscommunication cut. It was the forward, Reno, looking for the backdoor cut. Throws it to no man's land.
So Cal on a 4-game losing streak. After we thought they got it together, they won 3 of 4 at home. Now lost 4 straight. This is one of the more winnable games on their schedule because coming up, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Arizona State, USC, UCLA, all with winning records.
Drop pass inside and throwing it down as Newell waved off, though, because a foul was called on the floor before Newell jammed that one.
This is the first open look they've gotten all game, and it didn't count.
First open look. That could have led to some more points in the paint. So far, the Bears only have 4 to show underneath the rim, comparatively to Stanford's 20. A missed shot by the Bears, and Stanford will hold on to it with an 11-point lead.
I think that's the theme, Ryan, of Stanford being more physical, out rebounding the Bears. There's a foul on the floor against Cal. Out rebounding the Bears, scoring way more points in the paint. 5 blocks for Stanford already, which is more than their season average. Just a story of Stanford not even being that big, especially big, just out physicaling the Bears.
A reach in by Kwani as he checks out. In for him comes Sam Alaji. You're right, Alex. I mean, not many players that are that much taller than the Bears. They only have one player over 7 foot, and that is Reno.
Yeah, and it's not even the size of, like you mentioned, it's not the size of Stanford, but what they can do with it. Guys like Ingram and Jones, and Ingram hits a 3.
He buries it from deep. Harrison Ingram does, who has been a tad bit quiet here in this ball game. But he's trying to get hot when it matters the most. The 6'7" sophomore forward, by far the most talented on the floor as a 5-star recruit and a McDonald's All-American. Newell drive inside. Steps back for the shot, gets it blocked, but it corrals into the hands of Lars Tiemann, who puts up a hook shot and rattles it in.
Great finish from Tiemann. 4 points in the game.
Ingram skidding and sliding, kick outside. In the hands now of O'Connell, the 6'2" guard. Working on Tiemann, gets the mismatch, slides his way inside past Tiemann, but gets it blocked away to the hands of the Bears. Burst of speed underneath. Joel Brown cannot get it to fall, taking on 2 Cardinal defenders. Ingram left wide open. Why not let it fly? Can't get it to go, but put back in with the stuffing. It is Brandon Angel flying high for the finish.
Great pursuit from Angel. 6'8" on the offensive rebound. Run around Lars Tiemann. Only needed one hand to slam it home.
Grant Newell trying to exact his revenge. Can't get it to fall. Or didn't really get a shot attempt at all. Tiemann now drawing the double. Kick outside to Brown. Looking out to the corner underneath to Lars Tiemann. who buries the hatchet. Back-to-back dunks for either team. And this one is looking exciting here at Maples.
Excellent two-man game there. Lars passed it back out to Joel Brown, who used his driving skills to draw two defenders and find the wide-open teammate.
Top of the key three, swishing in and detonating from deep is Maxime Reynaud with the beautiful rainbow arc, the 7'1" center.
So Stanford finding their stroke here in the second half. 3 for 6 from the field, but a big three there.
Joel Brown now passes it out up top to Clayton. Over to the left-hand side, back out to Newell, back out to Clayton. Some passes around the perimeter. Joel Brown now on the right wing. Cuts over to his left. Back over to Clayton. 3 to shoot. Pump fake. 2 dribbles inside. Grant Newell stepping back for a mid-range J, but can't get it off in time for the shot clock violation. A 15-point differential. The Cardinal up 39-24. They've been keeping their momentum alive. Both teams enter their respective huddles, but I want to ask Alex what you've seen from the Bears that they need desperately to improve on.
Getting shots before the 5-second mark of the shot clock. We've seen it a little bit in this possession. Okay, they've gone early a couple of times and it's been positive. But anytime there's 5 seconds left, 10 seconds left on the shot clock, when you're starting your possession there, defenses can be more aggressive. And this team is not very decisive in terms of passing the ball. Let's say if the Warriors start their possession with 8 seconds left on the shot clock, probably okay. They have great chemistry. They know where guys are going to be. Cal, they don't really play that way. And so you got to start your possession earlier so you have a little more wiggle room and get a shot up at all. I mean, you should not have 4 shot clock violations or 3 shot clock violations partway through the second quarter. And also a moment there at Grant Newell, when he got the ball with 2 seconds left, you got to know you got to get the ball up. That's just part of being a freshman. I think it's not really his fault. It's just a part of the situation that Cal's in right now. But when you have guys that are young, that are still learning, start your possession a little earlier, and maybe you can get a better shot.
Absolutely. Cal struggling, as we mentioned before, with finding open looks underneath the basket. So far, they have now 8 total points in the paint, already doubling what they had in the first half. 24 total points. But you talk about decisiveness, right? I mean, at a certain point, you just need to pull the trigger when you have the ball in your hands. And shot clock violations are the worst possible outcome for any team. When Cal has been successful this season, they've been firing it on all cylinders. Now, of course, you can't expect a historic game like they had against Stanford on January 6th, but you can certainly roll with somewhat of a similar game plan. That is not what they're doing here in tonight's matchup. Instead, they're trying to run their offense through their front court. Stanford doesn't seem to have learned from the last matchup. They're collapsing into the paint and leaving the Bears somewhat open out on the perimeter. It is the only bright spot for the Bears in which they're shooting 31% from the.
There was a play a couple of possessions ago where Joel Brown got the ball on the right wing. It was because someone had doubled the guy who was passing him the ball. So when you get the ball and the help defender's coming at you, you probably want to throw to the guy who's now open. It was Grant Newell in the corner who was wide open. No one was 10 feet of him. Instead, Joel Brown drove. Now, granted, that play did end up in a dunk, but still, I mean, I think it's exemplifies the sort of pass that the Bears are not making in this game so far.
The Bears not looking so golden here tonight, trying to chip away at this 15-point lead. Ball is live on the floor in the hands of Ingram. 1v1 with Quaddy. No look pass, feeding it over to O'Connell, who tries the floater, doesn't get it to fall. Back over to Ingram with the poster. Harrison Ingram stuffing the rim. Jeez Louise. Harrison Ingram with possibly the dunk of the year in the Pac-12.
Sort of a broken play, and Ingram came down the lane and slammed it over N.D. Okafor.
Just yammed it over Okafor.
Oh, no.
Jeez. Chaos for the ball. Joel Brown tries to save it, stepped out of bounds. 41-26 is your score, but I mentioned it. It was O'Connell who had the missed floater, fed Ingram inside, and cocked it back with one arm.
Yeah,
What
I
a play
think
by
Cal
Ingram.
scored a possession on the next basket or the next possession, but I didn't even notice.
Not at all.
Oh my goodness! Shades of the DeAndre Jordan over Brandon Knight dunk from all those years ago.
Somewhat. I mean, I will say Okafor 6'9", Ingram is 6'7". DeAndre Jordan had a huge height differential against.
It's even more impressive though.
That's fair. That's fair. O'Connell drive inside, takes Okafor right to the rim, meeting him and getting the advantage. So Okafor has been scored on twice underneath the basket.
Largest lead of the game.
Off that poster by Ingram. Largest lead of the game, 43-26. Not looking pretty for the Bears. Joel Brown, step back, mid-range J. Too strong, reeled in by Okafor. Pump fake, gets two Stanford Cardinal defenders jumping and kisses it off the glass. Trying to silence this run, but it is momentum shifting plays like that will give the Bears some trouble. Ingram with a nice backdoor cut and a nice one-handed floater from a couple feet out from the left lower block. He gets two more to fall in his favor. As some substitutions are made on the court.
Ingram is up to 7 points now, actually only averaging 9.6 points this season. That surprised me. You expect a NBA talent like that to come back after his freshman year, which not a lot of people expected him to do. But nevertheless, I mean, you see the raw talent. The dunk, obviously, the quick short area speed, getting the backdoor cut. I mean, the talent is there. It's can he put it together and can he develop a shot?
The three is good off the assist by Ingram. Splashing it out from distance is Max Merle. But you mentioned the talent of Ingram and his resume. A Pac-12 Freshman of the Year in 2022 and the number 20 recruit by ESPN in the nation. When he was picked up by the Cardinal, 48-28. Why not let it fly? Razzle and dazzling. There's Sam Alajiki out from the left wing. A timeout will be called by the Bears. 31-48 is your score with 13:21 left in this second half. You're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KALX Berkeley, 90.7 FM.
You know me as your boy's goofy friend. I seem to have this effect on women, and yours aren't just as I am. I try my best to keep you entertained, always laughing at the jokes you are saying. I nod my head when you make a point. Oh. Kiss me with your eyes closed. Whisper that your heart shows. All I want is you, yeah, you. Come on now, hold me, I'm your bunny. Tell me I'm not funny. Tell me I'm legit. 'Cause I feel weak, and your hands and your feet are precious, and I'll never feel your touch. You guys came to the restaurant where I clean. I saw you in the window, I got flushed. I rushed outside and cracked some jokes. And in a while I came and got your plates, and you guys moved on the rest of your days. I scrubbed cheese and wished I was somebody else. Kiss me.
Well, they keep putting that replay on the big screen here at Maples Pavilion. Harrison Ingram throwing it down. Might have been the best dunk I've seen in college men's basketball in my time commentating. It was just a great train to the rim. O'Connell to Ingram, who came from the top of the key.
Oh boy, and you imagine that's got to be a little cathartic too for a Stanford team that started out 0-7 in conference. Have a big dunk like that against your rival. Gotta feel good.
And Ingram now has tallied up 7 points, 3 for 7, after scoring basically no points in the first half. Pump fake three gets Bowser to bite. Kick outside, cutting to the left, and laying it up and in is O'Connell, working on Tiemann.
O'Connell had Tiemann on a switch, blew right by him.
It's those quick reflexes by O'Connell, who played lacrosse in high school. In fact, he was a top 100 recruit, committed to Maryland for lacrosse before committing to Stanford for men's basketball. Turnover, Ingram with the two-handed flush on the other end. Reno with the assist, Ingram with the deuce. And all of a sudden, the lead balloons up to 52-21. 21-point lead. Roberson up top, drive inside, looking for Tiemann. Battle for the ball. Bears pick it up. Aochiki now throws it. Here comes the Cardinal 1v2 transition. And tipping it up and in, no good. Ingram couldn't get it. Picks back up the ball from the missed layup.
I guarantee you the first word Mark Fox is going to say at his press conference today is effort.
Oh, yeah. Most certainly. Getting out-rebounded by 17.
14 offensive rebounds for Stanford. 14.
As a timeout will be called on the floor. Things are getting chippy and ugly here in this rivalry matchup. The second time these two teams are facing each other this season. Again, 52-31 is your score here live in Palo Alto, California. You're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KALX Berkeley 90.7.
매번 같은 하루들 중에 너를 만날 때 가장 난 행복해 일상들 속에 너란 사람은 내게 가장 특별해 별에는 없지 아픈 것은 없겠지 난 요즘에 그냥 떠버린 것 같아 많은 시간 덕에 이런 노래 쓰네 이건 나를 위한 노래 노래 자 떠나자 푸른 바다로 우리가 함께 뛰어놀던 저 푸른 바다로 괜한 것들은 잠시 내려놓은 채는 우리끼리 즐겨보자 함께 추억하는 푸른 바다 한가운데 작은 섬 지금은 멀어졌어도 우린 없어도 네 곁에 내가 없어도 우리 함께 이걸 다 알잖아 같은 하루들 중에 너를 만날 때 가장 난 행복해 매번 같은 일상들 속에 너란 사람은 내게 가장 특별해 아침들 불처럼 일어나 거울처럼 난 너를 봐 누구 대신 너만 묻었다
Back live in Palo Alto, California, 52-31 is your score with 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in this second half. Cal is 3-17 on the season. There are only 2 conference victories coming against Colorado and Stanford, the team that they're playing right now. But right now it seems like the Bears are taking the biggest beating.
They are tough game at really the rim and behind the arc for California.
1v1, kick outside. 3 from the right wing, no good. Picked up by the Bears. 4v5 mismatch. The Bears have numbers. 20, wide open 3. Why not? Let it fly. Can't get it to go. Too strong out on the left wing. Following that missed 3 by Reno. Same spot, same shot, different player, and that will ring in for Michael Jones with the triple.
And a really balanced effort from Stanford today. 4 players with 8 or more. Michael Jones joins that club with that 3 right there.
Now needs to answer back. Grant Newell slicing his way inside. Count it. And the foul. Grant Newell putting some more points on the board for himself.
Yeah, the freshman gets on the board today. He's been a really bright spot for this Cal offense, being one of the few guys on the team able to create his own shot, can go to the lane, can shoot it a little bit. Could be a double-double machine down the road.
Can't get the free throw to fall, though, so can't capitalize on the potential three-point play. So far, though, Newell is 1 for 6 here tonight. Though you mentioned it, he has been able to create his own shot. 17 starts in 19 games played as a true freshman. Backdoor cut underneath, it's Jones. But Newell with some good defense underneath. 14 on 14, and it's the player in gold who gets the advantage. Newell spinning his way inside. Kick out to the corner. 3 ball was no good. Back iron for Clayton.
Definitely seeing some better offense from Cal there. They kept it moving. Just when you're shooting 29%, there's only so much you can do.
DeJuan Clayton is 25 years old. He is one of 8 NCAA Division I players over 25 years old. 55-33. Jones picks it up, working on Newell. Mano-a-mano! And he just bullies the freshman inside.
Newell took a bit of an elbow to the face there, or at least that's how he reacted, but no call on the basket counts, and it's a 24-point affair.
The veteran giving it to the freshman. Lead balloons up to 24. Kwani drive inside, charge. As he took it right to the face of Brandon Angel, who stood his ground in the restricted area.
You'd like to see him adjust there. Sometimes those calls are bang-bang, but Brandon Angel had been pretty much sitting there since Kwani was at the free throw line extended. Maybe you want to see him go around a little bit, but for the official, that was an easy call.
So Stanford has been able to bring up their average up to 47% after some inaccurate shooting early on in the first half. A foul called as it was Silva driving hard to the rim. But they've brought it up to 47% on 49 field goal attempts. 40% remarkably from 3. They were under 20% coming into this second half, bringing it up to 40%, holding Cal to the stagnant 31%.
That's right, Ryan. I think one of the questions after when those teams were mired in that 7-minute scoreless streak as Silva hits the first free throw, what if Stanford starts making all these wide open looks at the rim they're getting? This is the answer. It's a 25-point game.
Silva from Sacramento, California, a local, as he knocks down both free throws. Stanford shooting at 78%, 7 for 9 from the charity stripe. Brown left to right. Picks up his dribble, but it's a double dribble.
Cal still has not found an answer for the Stanford defense. every play, regardless if they're playing man or zone, collapse the paint, make every look inside of 7 feet incredibly difficult. What happened there? Joel Brown had to pivot 2 or 3 more times than he would have liked. Travel.
The fourth turnover for the Bears in the last 4 minutes. Top of the key three, rims out. No good for Angel. Brown now hands it off. Up top in the hands of Onyawu. Now to Awajiki. Awajiki left to right. Back over to Brown. Quick trigger three. Back iron won't fall for Brown. And Brown, who opened up this ball game for the Bears with a made 3-point shot, is now 1 for 8 here tonight. Top of the key three once again for the Cardinal. Cannot get it to fall, and this is looking like the cold stretch we saw about midway in the first half. For both teams, that is. Rising up for a mid-range J, Clayton. Contested, no good.
DeJuan Clayton has been really cold today. 2 for 12 now from the field, only 6 points. Far less than 26 he had versus Stanford.
A block is good by Andy Okafor, holding his ground against Angel. Rising up for a shot. Mid-range J is all air for Onyawu.
Even when they get going on early offense, the shot's still not falling. That went an air ball long from Obina.
And Stanford just scorches the Bears on that offensive possession. This time it's Merle reining in a three on the right wing. Meanwhile, the Bears stuck in a drought. Stanford 7-0 in the last 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, the Bears 0 for 4 with 4 turnovers in the last 6 minutes. 62-33 is your score, a 29-point deficit that the Bears have to chip away at in these final 7 minutes and 15 seconds here on your live source for Sports, KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM.
So good to me. Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be. Oh, Monday morning, couldn't guarantee that Monday evening you would still be here with me. Monday, can't trust that day. Monday, sometimes it just turns out that way. Oh, Monday morning, you gave me no warning of what was to be. Oh, Monday, how could you leave and not take me? Every other day of the week is fine, yeah. But whenever Monday comes, you find me crying all of the time. Monday, so good to me. Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be. But Monday morning, couldn't guarantee that Monday evening you would still be here with me. Every other day of the week is fine, yeah. Whenever Monday comes, you can find me crying all of the time. Monday, can't trust that.
62-33 is your score, a depressing outcome for the Bears so far. 29-point deficit with 7 minutes left to work with. It's Clayton kicking it out to Newell for three. Top of the key, way off target to the right side of the iron.
Just a disappointing day for the Bears. They haven't swept the Cardinals since the 09-10 season. Looking to do it today. They had won their last two games against Stanford in pretty dominating fashion. Just wasn't in the cards tonight.
4-game losing streak for the Bears. Meanwhile, the Cardinal getting hot with 3 games won so far. Against both Oregon teams, Harrison Ingram with the beautiful fadeaway shot. Nothing but net for the sophomore forward.
Harrison Ingram came to play in a marquee game for the Cardinal this year. Good post move backing down and spinning fadeaway jumper he made.
All of his points coming in the second half, 5 for 10 on 11 points. Teeman underneath, draws the double. They keep doubling the Aussie big man as he throws it away. In transition, ripped away by Kwani. Rising up for a layup was Reno. And Kwani with a wise foul, or else it would have been yammed.
I think a big sample, sorry to go back to that last possession, Ryan, of the difference in Cal and Stanford today. Lars got it on the post, had Grant coming behind him, but couldn't get it to him in time as the help, or he waited too long and then the help got there, so he couldn't make the pass. And Stanford's been making that play all day. There on that last possession, yeah, nice foul to stop the lay-in from Kwani.
It is Reno now heading to the line for opportunities. Reno has 12 points on the night, 5 for 9. The lead scorer for the home team. Cannot get the first free throw to fall, but he has really showed off his range here tonight.
Anytime you get a 7-1 player who can shoot threes, he shoots it at a 28% clip, which is not great, but he stretches the floor enough so that he poses a threat and forces maybe your big man to come out of the paint.
It's a pure shot for him, 1 for 2 at the line. The second one looked about as good as it could have been. The double ensues for Teeman. He kicks it back outside. Awajiki underneath to Teeman. Takes the double once again, trying to bully his way inside. Wild shot, hook shot, no good. Too strong, doesn't graze the rim. Here come the Cardinal. Back out for 3. Silva lets it fly. Too strong. Burst to speed. Turning on the Jets is Joel Brown. Fouled against Issa Silva, the 6'4" guard.
Nice drive from Joel Brown. Haven't seen enough of that today. From the senior, only 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting.
Joel Brown now at the line for 2. He has led this team in assists per game for the past 2 seasons as he knocks down the first. He also won a silver medal with Canada's U18 team back in the day from Ontario, Canada.
What an international flair on this Cal team.
1 for 2 at the line. He, along with Jalen Celestine, are the lone Canadians for the Bears. 65-34. Bears continue to take a beating. Under 5 minutes left in the second half and the ball game. Ingram drive inside. Hook shot is pure. Bottom of the net for Maxime Reno.
Leading the way for the Cardinal with 15 points. You can hear those chants. It's "We Want Roy." Roy Yuan is one of the former managers who was added to the roster. Hasn't played much, but I think the fans want to see him.
As the Bears get it stolen away once again, it's Silva picking up his dribble. Back out to Ingram. Deep 3 from the Bay and back. Harrison Ingram is having himself a night here at Maples Pavilion.
Only had 6 points versus the Bears earlier this month. Tonight, He is up to 14, showing the 3-point stroke.
6 for 11 now. Cross-court pass to Bowser, left to right. Back up top to Alajiki. Takes a high pick by Tiemann. Gets a Cardinal jumping. Back over to Tiemann underneath the rim. Foul called before the shot attempt.
Ingram's season high is actually 24 versus Ole Miss, but hey, you never know.
You never know with another timeout called on the floor. It has to be some Berkeley magic if they want to make this one competitive with 5:23 left. A 31-point lead now for the Stanford Cardinal. Here live on KAOX Berkeley 90.7 FM, your live source for Cal Sports. Well, Alex, you're a big proponent of Kwani getting some valuable minutes. It's an oversight that we admit to. Kwani has fouled out of this game. He was in foul trouble in the first half, which kind of explains why Mark Fox hasn't put him on the floor as long as we had hoped for.
Yeah, and it's a part of the reason why Stanford's been so dominant inside today is not necessarily that Kwani is a great post defender, but to have that size out on the perimeter to stop drives and front guys. They've been missing that really for this entire game. Only 13 minutes for Kwani instead of his usual 25.
Up top to Brown, right wing, drive inside, underneath the Roberson with the reverse layup foul called on the floor.
But we want Roy chance to continue. Now I want Roy.
Me too. Roy UN from San Jose, California. A great story for.
Oh, he's on the big screen now.
On the big screen.
Which is frozen, by the way.
Cameraman caught on. Catch shoot three from the right wing. Back iron won't fall for Grant Newell. Cuts inside off the rebound by Roberson. Threw it off the leg of a Stanford defender, but a foul was called. Some substitutions are made. A platoon swap for Stanford.
Ryan, I'm going to tell you that the three players from Cal who've shot the most shots today are combined 4 for 28. Clayton, Newell, and Brown.
As it's Okafor with a wild hook shot, won't fall. Roberson picks it up. 34-70 is your score on the big screen here at Maples. It is frozen. Roberson with the three. No good. Rims off the right iron. Picked back up by the Bears. And that one is good for Sam Alajiki with some critical boards for the Bears in these closing minutes.
He's quietly had a very productive game. 9 and 9. 9 rebounds, part of his stat line today.
Under 3 minutes left. Some technical difficulties on the big screen here at Maples pavilion.
Also, the bench squad getting some minutes for the Cardinal. Jarvis Moss, number 3, is a sophomore guard. Also, Ryan Agarwal, who's a pretty good three-point shooter, but doesn't get many minutes, a freshman from Coppell, Texas. And then Neil Begovic, the redshirt junior from San Francisco.
It's a slap in the face for the Bears when you bring in your second, third stringers, right? It's such a ginormous lead. Cutting inside and rocking the rim hard is Silva. And one for Issa Silva. And we have seen 2 posters here at Maples Pavilion.
Issa Silva blew by Marcellus Roberson on the left wing, then went up with the right hand as Roberson was in a trail position, fouled him from behind. Rocking the rim, Issa Silva standing at 6'4".
Are you kidding me? Converts the 3-point play, and the Bears are down bad.
Cal has 36. The lead is 37.
Joel Brown running for his life. Underneath, we want Roy.
We want Roy.
Rise from Stanford, air ball picked back up. The Bears cannot make a layup off an air ball. No one can make a shot for the Bears.
Also, Benny Gieler in for Stanford. He has played in 9 games this year as a freshman from Palos Verdes Estates.
If they do force a steal, here comes Grant Newell, 2-on-2 transition, and Newell uses his length to his advantage, rolls it in for 2. And in a rivalry game like this, there is no mercy whatsoever. You can hear the chants from the crowd. The ball is on the floor, and Stanford picks it up. Trying to detonate from deep was Agarwal. As Brown now.
Roy Yuan goes to the stores table.
He's ready to check in. Awajiki for 3. Rims out. Okafor.
And here he comes.
Fights for the ball. Foul called. Roy Yuan from San Jose, California, gets a standing ovation from this crowd as he checks in. Listen to this crowd.
Those are the 2 managers, Roy Yuan and Josue Gil Silva, both elevated to the roster on December 1st after starting out as managers and now getting some playing time against their biggest rival.
It really is a beautiful story.
If only it weren't happening to us.
And one call against Stanford. It was Sam Awajiki rolling to the rim hard and getting a 3-point play opportunity coming right up. 73-40 is your score. And I just want to see UN shoot a 3. I mean, how epic would that be?
Back to the game for a second. 1 second. One very quick second. Awajiki now the first Cal player into double digits. Been pretty productive today, going to the hoop, finding his scoring opportunities where he can get them. But now Stanford has the ball, and we'll see what happens.
Converts, puts 3 more points on the board for the Bears. Foul called against Joel Brown in the backcourt.
Roy Yuan, 6'1", 170 pounds. And Josue Gil Silva, 6'1", 185 pounds from Salinas. Both of them are marked down as seniors, so.
And if you know anything about student managers on any collegiate men's basketball team, it is that they are very closely connected with their respective teams. So Roy Yuan and Silva already have the trust of their teammates, most certainly. You can see the encouragement by the crowd. But you already know their number 1 supporters are their own teammates.
Oh, 100%. They usually practice with the team, if I'm not mistaken. They're integral, as you mentioned, Ryan, to every part of running the team and keeping it going.
As the free throw is good. And I meant not Silva, but Gil Silva, that is. Drive inside, taking the double, swatted away, but a foul is called. 2 physical underneath the rim against Neil Begovic.
Awajiki there showing some of what Cal hasn't had any today, which is poise in the paint. When he gets the ball underneath, a couple of pump fakes, get guys in the air. and draw the foul.
We'll get 2 cracks at it at the charity stripe. Knocks down the first.
Also with a double-double now.
Sam Awajiki, a 3-and-D guy for the Bears, who has been a steady bench player all season long. Can't get the second free throw to fall. 1 for 2 at the line. He had a career high 19 points versus the Cardinals back on January 6th. He was 5 for 6 from beyond the arc. A foul was called shortly after that missed shot, so it's a 1-and-1 for the Bears.
And for Alajiki, this is actually his first game of the year with 10 or more rebounds. His first double-double as well.
On Yawu, cannot get the free throw to fall, 75-42. And Stanford will be relentless. Everyone wants UN to score a bucket, but it's poked away. 1-2 transition, throwing it down with the one-handed jam. Goes Roberson skywalking his way to the rim, but it's too little too late. 75-44. UN with the ball in his hands the first time this ball game. Deep three, detonating from deep. Rims out. That could have been spectacular.
That was halfway down and out. Off the back of the rim and then the front. But he'll get one more shot at it.
And he's keeping steady against Roberson, who seems feisty underneath. Over to Okafor. Hook shot is good. And you can see Stanford is really looking at the Bears.
Shot clock is off, so we'll see what they do now.
It's all relative. I mean, 75 points Stanford has to under 50 points for the Bears. As number 15, Benny Hewer, the freshman guard from Palos Verdes, California, will dribble this ball game out. To the sound of the buzzer, the final score, 75-46. Stanford beating the Bears in ugly fashion. The Bears now fall to 3-18 on the season, 2-8 in conference play. Meanwhile, the Cardinal back up to 9-12 and 3-7 in Pac-12 play. To go over some team stats, you have Cal being held down to 30% in this matchup. Normally, they're at 42%, so they declined by 12 percentage points here in this rivalry matchup. 17 for 56, 24% from 3. That is also 6% lower than their season average. 54% from the charity stripe, which is 20% lower than their season average. And 12 turnovers to show, and only 30 rebounds to 47 rebounds, 73% at the line, 36% from beyond the arc, which dramatically increased here in the second half, and overall 47%. Things went from okay to bad to ugly to worse for the Bears. They kept it competitive, and I'd say the first 5 minutes or so, the lead just balloons and balloons and balloons for the Cardinal.
Cardinal came today with their, if not their A game, at least their A- game, particularly after the first part of the first half. They found their three-point stroke late in the game. They dominated the Bears inside all evening. And after the reverse game in Berkeley, where the Bears dominated from the three-point arc, today was a good old-fashioned beatdown and a good old-fashioned slugfest for this Stanford team that now has a 4-game winning streak and looking to make some noise.
And overall, I mean, the Stanford Cardinal was led far and away by two main players, Harrison Ingram and Maxime Reynaud. Ingram was expected to have a good ball game, a 5-star recruit, a McDonald's All-American, the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year in 2022, with 14 points to show, 6 for 11, 2 for 5 from beyond the arc. Reynaud with 15 points to show, the lead scorer for the Cardinals, 6 for 10. And beyond them, it was Silva, O'Connell, Murrell, Angel with a well-rounded effort for the Cardinal. On the other side, the Bears' only bright spot in the end was Sam Awajiki. 13 points, 5 for 10, 1 for 3 from beyond the arc, and only 2 more players with more than 5 points. Lars Tiemann and DeJuan Clayton. So that will about wrap it up here tonight at Maples Pavilion. All time, in case you're wondering, in case you're keeping track, Stanford is 93 and 78 against the Golden Bears since 1949. And it's another victory for the home team. And now Jared Haas, the head coach of the Cardinal, is just one win away from 100 wins on the farm. Thank you so much to everyone listening here tonight and tuning in for this rivalry matchup. This is Ryan Chen, Alex Wong on call, sending it back over to the studio of the Social Sciences Building in the hands of Jonah Kligman. As always, you're listening to your live source for Cal Sports, KALX Berkeley 90.7 FM.